your will fall. Mortaria's wrath will consume them all. Ultimately pride crumbled in the dust. Your emperor's night can't stop the rust. Disease erupt by your final breath. Now kneel before the reaper's death. I am the blade, I am the rot. The end of all that you forgot. You fought for hope, you fought for lies. Now your shining world slowly dies. From the skies I bring despair. Your warriors choke on poisoned air. My cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortaria's blade, watch its glory dies. The reaper falls, your honored sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. Blue and gold, once proud, once bright. Now swallowed whole by endless night. I am decay, and I will feast. Your chapter falls beneath my feet. Gleaming suns will face my wrath. In every breath, your lungs turn black. Your noble heart, I turn to ash in my shadow. Your hopes will crack. I am the blade, I am the rot. The end of all that you forgot. You fought for hope, you fought for lies. Now your shining world slowly dies. From the skies I bring despair. Your warriors choke on poisoned air. The cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortaria's blade, watch its glory dies. The angel falls, your honored sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. My crown, what's the truth of the stars? Now lies broken, tainted with my scars. I am your doom, your final breath. Mortaria comes, delivering death. From the skies I bring despair. Your warriors choke on poisoned air. My cracking flames, hear the cries. Mortaria's blade, watch its glory dies. The angel falls, your honored sword. In death your soldiers are reborn. There's no salvation, no last stand. My crown is buried by my hand. Buried by my hand. You fall, you fall. The flag is buried by my hand.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast, and today a very special day. You're joined by myself, you're joined by obviously Mr. Death Guard Dave. Hello Mr. Death Guard Dave.
Hello, Mr. Aiden. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you very much. There was some interesting news today.
There has been some interesting news today, hasn't there? It's almost like something has happened that has, impacted the game a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's the Claw Gang in chat, before we say hello to the rest of the chat, just posted literally no change except Mortarian. Well, as you said, the game has changed.
Yeah, the game is a little bit different and a little bit of a new meta approaching. And even though maybe we didn't get the most changes, there's still a lot to break down in this December data slate. It just feels like we had one yesterday, Dave. I'm not gonna lie.
It does. It feels like we're getting drops all over the place, and I'm pleased that they didn't just go, here's the end of December. We've done all the Grotmess drops. Now you can have the points and the MFM. So I'm kind of pleased they've given everyone enough time ahead of the rest of December and into Jan to kind of get playing with it.
Yeah, it's cool, and obviously that means everything's been turned upside down. Which armies have been burnt to the ground? Which armies have been built up from nothing? And which armies kind of just standing in the middle going, but before we get into it, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in so far. Do remember, if you do like the content, please leave a like and a subscribe. It really helps. And if you really like the content, how else can you contribute, Dave?
You can become a Plague Marine like Royal Redbeard in chat. So thank you very much for becoming a Plague Marine.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roll Redbeard. If you do join and become a Plague Marine, you get access to our Discord, you get access to a giveaway, which is going on right now. I think it gets announced on Saturday, the winner.
It's a good one as well.
It is a good one. It's a brand new Kill Team starter set with all the Plague Marines in it. and now the Ultramarines, which you might be interested in now. And you win the entire thing, and we've also got a £25 gift voucher coming away. And at the end of the stream, Dave, don't let me forget to announce another giveaway that's coming out. A very special one being donated by one of our own members, actually. So we're going to announce that.
Okay.
Having a quick check-in with chat. Hello, Zombie Loki, Ben Hayden, Morton Brandt, Nurgle Matthews always here, Mikey Way, my sparring partner, Mikey Way, Zito himself, Sir Tal, Jurgen Masma, that's you, Deaf Guy Dave, Lazy Chicken, Datsundez, Mark Roberts, Bakuba Christian, The Claw Gang, Gabriel Boyer, I think Leonardo Sabatino, as always, thank you so much for the content. You're very welcome, Leonardo. Thank you very much for the content.
You're welcome.
Papa Luke, Darkja, and that is everyone so far. So thank you for tuning in. And obviously, do join the chat. Give us your opinions. We want to interact with you guys and hear what you think of the MFM update as well. Should we get into it then, Dave?
I think we better. There's there was a fair bit of red in this bit, and then I think it was a bit more hit and miss in terms of who got redded, who got greened in the points.
It really was. So let's go over some core rule changes. So these are changes that affect every army. So the first one up is got stratagems that allow a closer setup range. Now we kind of already saw this coming a little bit, Dave. The Thousand Sun detachment kind of hinted to it, plus the WCW ruling on the Aqualons. But this is now 3-inch deep strike is dead. Good. Fuck 3-inch deep strike.
Just get out in the bin.
If you are crying because of 3-inch deep strike, I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I don't give a shit.
Care. Yeah. I couldn't care less about anything. If you were only winning games because of 3-inch deep strike, ha.
Quite literally. So now, if any rule relates to you being set up at 3 inches, you now have to be set up at 6 inches, which is obviously great for us. We were all happy about that. Volume per tab. I have everything on my side set to maximum. I can try and put my
input level is at 100 on my mic. I've got my mic turned up more.
I can boost mine a little bit, possibly. USB condenser microphone. There you are. Levels. Yeah, I'll put myself up. I can put myself to like 65, 61. Hopefully that'll be better for people listening. Okay. Hopefully.
We'll carry on and then just let us know. I think we've done what we can.
I've got Dave at max as well currently as well. I need this volume thing, annoys me. So 3-inch deep strike is officially dead. Any rule that references a 3-inch deep strike will instead be placed on a 6-inch deep strike, which is way easier to screen out. I know it's still like not ideal. I'd still prefer everyone to have to play by the rules, but 6-inch deep strike is much more manageable than a 3-inch deep strike. So I think generally for the game, this is a much healthier change. Not just because we didn't have access to it, but I just think there's going to be less feel bads. I genuinely got to the point, Dave, where recently, like when my opponent had 3-inch deep strike, I just stopped even bothering to screen it because I just can't. And I'd spend so much effort and positioning to screen out 3-inch deep strike, I'd screw up like. I couldn't like do what I wanted to do because I'd have to string everything out everywhere. So it wasn't worth it in the end. I'm glad this is dead. I will not miss it. Goodbye, 3-inch deep strike.
Goodbye.
But next up, an interesting one. Didn't see this one coming. I won't lie.
No.
Stratagems that worsen armor penetration, aka armor of contempt. So any rule that says when you are shot until the end of the phase, reduce the AP of that incoming attack by 1. Well, now it only lasts for a single activation of a unit, not the entire phase. Quite a change, Dave.
Really big. Your opponent's now going to have to really carefully choose which thing they save against. You know, you could chuck a whole load of just chip damage into a unit, and you might do a ton of damage to it with it if they don't armor of contempt, which then would allow your bigger guns to go into something else. Or you basically got them guessing, and you could do it in multiple places and actually whittle down a few units all the time, threatening your big gun somewhere. And then by the time it comes to it shooting them, you've kind of already done quite a lot of damage, and it doesn't really matter. It's going to be a real it's going to be a real mind F for your opponent, I would say. Yeah,
so obviously for Death Guard, this is a net positive. We don't have armor of contempt, so we only face it. So we're happy to obviously get nerfed. My one slight little concern, this one, I'm just going to put it out here now. I'm not going into a negative rant, anyone. I just want to get this out of the way. I believe this buffs shooting armies more than melee armies. Yes. And at the moment, we're already shooting melee. I don't feel like they needed this. The reason I say this is because armor of contempt would usually get eat multiple activations from shooting, but usually when you charge something, it's quite rare you double charge something. So chances are that unit was only going to armor of contempt versus the one attacking unit anyway. So most of the time, it's still 100% just as effective as it used to be in the melee fights, but it's now just flat out worse against the shooting matchups. And I like seeing a balanced meta of shooting and melee. I just hope this doesn't push us towards like even more like shooting meta, because shooting meta is bore me. But overall, I mean, we took Mortarion and ignored this fucking thing anyway, so...
Exactly.
But swings and roundabouts. But it's nice. It means if you don't have Mortarion, it's going to be less painful to deal with.
I agree. I mean, what I would say is, if I look back at LGT, where I played when I played Ben, great CSM player, final round, every single turn there was Armor of Contempt being used all over the shop, like every single time. So I mean, it might not be. I agree with what you're saying. I think it definitely benefits shooting armies more, but I certainly don't think we're not going to not force people to have to use it. So
it's still really
we'll
good.
See. And it's an interesting one, depending on which now we've got which detachment you're playing as well.
Yeah, it is, because obviously this is beneficial to armies that don't have great access to real high AP. If you have like AP1, AP2, which our army actually does, especially if you're not running Play Company, if you've got AP1, AP2, it just means that one use of Armor of Contempt doesn't shut down your entire shooting phase. It shuts down one unit, which is quite nice. So, overall, super happy with this for us, because again, doesn't negatively affect us, only benefits us. So, great. That's all the core things, and then we're into actual factions. So we're not going to go in depth to factions. We're going to give our overall opinion of what's happened to a faction, and I'll quickly list off basically the changes. So Sisters of Battle, oh my god, Dave. Oh, they took this out back, mate. They
Here is the bin, get in.
Yeah, they were not kind to you Sisters players. Miracle Dice have been nerfed. You now get a lot less of them. You get one per battle round instead of per turn, and you only get one max per phase when a Sisters unit is destroyed. And the Triumph also doesn't give you an extra dice. He just makes the one you get naturally a 6. So, lots less dice. And I'll be honest with you, this is the one I agree with. Miracle Dice, in my opinion, just shouldn't be in the game.
It was out of control.
Yeah, especially with the amount they're getting. But I don't like Miracle Dice in the game. We play a dice game for a reason, because the variance of dice is what's important to make. It makes people have outs. So, like, for example, I played a game against My Way, and I had a 3-inch charge and I rolled a double 1. I had to CP roll that, but that CP that just cost me now meant I couldn't do a 6-inch pal and consolidate and get into his home objective. Now, is that frustrating for me? Yes, but it's also incredibly important for my opponent for things like to be able to happen, because then it allows a chance for people to get back in the game to counterplay. When you have 100%, 100% chance on all the dice that you need, then very little chance for counterplay. You just come out and go, right, that tank needs to die this turn. I shot, only one got through. Oh, it's a shame. I'm just going to make that flat 10 damage. Goodbye. So Miracle Dice was the most egregious thing, and it also just felt very bad to play against, didn't it, Dave?
Yeah, I think there's two big things I want to say on this one is that we talked a little while ago about what makes that competitive play mindset, right? What we kind of got to was that it's a dice game fundamentally, but what you're trying to do is play the game to mitigate the impact of chance.
Yes.
And when then you can mitigate that element of chance no more, except when you can then change the actual dice.
Yeah.
That then adds a layer to the game that is just uninteractable for your component. Like you said, it stops you being able to counter on certain bits. And I also think it sucks the fun out of those moments when something like a double 1 charge happens and the entire game can pivot on a moment.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's exciting, and someone's back in the game, or it was just a great moment that your opponent laughed about, instead of, oh no, I'm just going to guarantee that we're done.
Yeah, and the same thing happens. It stops epic moments like you've got like nothing left. Your Plague Marine squad's been wiped down to one guy. Yep. You've kept the melter going. You run up next to that castigator. You put it next to it. You hit the wound roll. You hit the hit roll. You hit the wound roll. You're like, okay, I could like potentially want, and the guy just goes, "There's a 6. I passed it."
6.
It's just like, oh, okay, what an exciting moment just taken from fun to none. So I'm happy. This is the change I'm fine with. Also, thank you very much, Tom Bolton, for the £2 super chat. Goodbye, 3-inch deep strike. Hello, Morty deep strike. Hell yeah. We'll talk about that one. And Ben Brown, thank you as well, £5 super chat. Thanks for all you do. Any new Chaos Panther episodes? Yes, I've been talking to Dara and David. Doombolt Dave, as we're now calling him. And we're having an episode. We were trying to wait for Dara to get his detachment for World Eaters, but from what we're hearing on like in the webway, apparently it's one of the last ones. We don't really want to wait that long, so we might just put one in next week. But there definitely will be a Chaos Pantheon coming up for you. But yeah, I mean, part of that, like I said, Triumph got nerfed. Some of the stratagems got nerfed to 2 command points. Felt a little bit harsh, that one. I don't think that needed it too much. Penitent Host got a small buff, but like not really a buff. And then in terms of their points, Castigators went up, Exorcist went up, and those two
was Triumph up at 250?
I thought she stayed at 250, but she got worse on the rules.
250, yeah. I just saw them talking about it earlier. Yeah, like I said, it's they basically got lined up against the wall.
Yeah, and as much as I'd be happy to like have sisters on the metal for a bit, like this was too much. And if you are a sisters player, please don't go sell your army. Like these things happen. You will come back. Don't do anything like that. But I feel for you a little bit because I felt like this was like the Miracle Dice change and maybe like a little bit of because they nerfed the attachment as well for Bringers of Flame as well as the stratagems. They nerfed the attachment bonuses. Was probably just a little bit too much. So we'll have to see what happens with sisters going forward. But yeah, probably one of the hardest hit this attachment. Next one, we've got Custodes getting a big buff to the bikes. So we might see some more Custodes bikes. So really, really good change for the bikes there. Getting damage to Hurricane Bolters with AP1 is kind of crazy. Twin linked on the salvo launchers, really crazy.
And strength 10, AP3, D6 plus 1 damage.
Yeah.
Like, those are some serious missiles coming out of those things now.
They are. And then they also changed the profile as well, which is this is the first time they've changed like a physical profile of a unit. So they went to toughness 7 and 5 wounds each, and the character went to 7 and 8 wounds respectively. I am happy to see them willing to change bad data sheets. And they haven't done it for all the units, and obviously they're not doing it for a certain unit. I wish they did it for us. But at the same time, we've got a Codex coming. And the fact that they're willing to do this and showing that they're willing to like change. Because the thing is, nothing sucks worse than having... There'll be a Custodes player out there who got into this army for the jet bikes, loves the jet bikes. And there's nothing worse than a book coming out, and we have the old days, Dave, where that book says that unit is bad, cool, you're not playing at all edition.
Yeah.
Now they're showing they're willing to change stuff. So actually, even though I despise Custodes and I love killing Custodes and bikes scare me, I'm happy to see them change this unit for the better. So win for Custodes.
Yeah, and I think in where they have been in the meta recently, it's a good thing. And I also think lore, just lore wise, which is something I actually I appreciate when armies feel like they kind of do, and when they make these changes. These are these are what. To Astartes, what Astartes are to humans allegedly, right? On giant like jet bikes, they should be pretty cool, and so I'm glad to see that these have come up. I just hope we don't get to a place where we see kind of 18 of them on the table or something.
I know what you mean. Also, 102 viewers in chat. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in so far. Really appreciate it. If you can help us out though, do feel free to click a little thumbs up button. It does help. So thank you, but thank you again for everyone tuning in. Admech didn't get any changes. Eldan didn't get any changes. Guard got a nerf to Lord Solar. He can no longer order auxiliaries and planes and super heavies.
Sorry, Mike.
Sorry. It's a nerf, admittedly. Then the
I don't think it's, but it is, but I don't think it cripples the core army.
No, it doesn't cripple them. I don't think it cripples them. The main thing is not being able to use on Bulgrin. That's okay. A small change. Obviously, Tempest Aquilon's got the nerf that happened to WCW, but that's it really. Guard got more hit in the points department. They did get quite a bit of a hit in the points department, but I still think Guard's gonna be a real good army. I don't think they've been, had the legs kicked out from underneath them. I think they'll be fine generally. Just obviously a bit toned down. I mean, if you're a Guard player right now and you're like, damn, I got nerfed, just look at the Sisters player across the room with the shell-shocked expression on their face and just be thankful that isn't you. Marine's got a small change to like the Repulsor Executioner can carry 7 dudes, which is obviously nice for like inner circle companions who can go 6+1, all that kind of stuff now, which is quite cool. You know what, Dark Jib raises a good point actually. The Guard change sucks for fun because you can't order super heavies, and those things weren't breaking the game. So I can understand you maybe wanting to remove for auxiliaries because you were like, oh, I don't like Bulgrin, Gavin, move, stuff like that. Fair enough. Yeah. The super heavies, like, if you're bringing a super heavies, you probably weren't like going to try and win events because they just can't move anywhere. But to have it no longer be ordered is just kind of like feels like someone was just like no, fun police and shot that in the head. But maybe it's because because we're around this is with future in store. Maybe it's because there's a detachment that's going to let one of those super heavies drive through walls.
Exactly. And I think we can see what's coming. We can see what's going to go at the minute. There's still a lot of codexes to come. In another 3 months, we're going to get another points change.
Yeah.
So it's not that far, and let's see where they continue to balance it. They, like you said earlier, the fact that they're changing data sheets in this as well shows that I think they are, steering the edition a bit more firmly now.
Yeah. Chris Strongboy coming with 20 gifted memberships.
Strong
Thank you
boy.
so much,
Let's
Mr.
go.
Strongboy. What an absolute legend. Thank you so
much.
much. Thank you to Chris. And Merry Christmas, Play Pals. Merry Christmas to you, Strongboy. There'll be plenty of streams before Christmas, but still, I appreciate it, mate. If you've got gifted a membership, go to our community tab on our YouTube homepage. Scroll down a few posts, you'll find a Discord link. Click it, get in the giveaways, get in the chat, and welcome to the Plague Discord, the Plague Planet, as you call it.
Yep, I'm just going to wanted to quickly plug the Discord. It is really worth it, guys. Definitely do come and join it. The community is super strong, super supportive. There's no such thing as a bad, stupid question in there. If you're new to Death Guard and you want to know what's going on, if you want to kind of the community to have a look at a list, do it. You can drop a list into the Plague Surgery. We have got music, which you'll hear at the beginning and the end. I'm going to say this because everyone still asks. You can get hold of the music by being a member. Come join as a Plague Marine. Click the join button. Get into the Discord. There's a section called music. There's a ton of great people in there, so just kind of get on board. Say thank you to Christopher if you've got a membership. And sorry, Aiden, back to you.
No, it's no worries. I just realised there's another chat box behind you. I'm just going to get off.
That's all right.
There we go. So, and also thank you very much to Dirt for membership for 4 months. Thank you very much, Dirt. Massively appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, nice one.
Oh yeah, the giveaway on Saturday for the Kill Team boxes, so get in quick if you want it. There's cool lore about Aiden and McDonald's too. We're not going to mention that, Derp. So we've got Chaos Knights. Chaos Knights now basically get their army rule from turn 1. They used to have to... They had the aura of -1 leadership, but they didn't get the bonuses of +1 to wound and hit until turn 3, which is, quite frankly, real stupid, because the game is very important turn 1s to 3. So, for me, I think... this just working from the start, like every other army, is probably a good thing. So
I would also add that it doesn't. What I would say is that there's been a few points drops within the armigers and all the war dogs. It still doesn't fundamentally change though the structure of Chaos Knights.
Yeah, and they got a little buff too.
You're still going to see the same layout.
Yeah, unfortunately, no big night drops in him, but they get a little upgrade to the Traitor's Mark, which now forces Battle Shock Test, which is nice to work with anyway. Their army rule, which is nice. Chaos Space Marines, they actually remembered that this Battle Shock detachment exists, and because the rule was while enemies within 6 when you set up a unit, they are -1 leadership, which obviously can't happen anymore because that used to let you set up 3, and then you'll be within 6 to give them the battle shock, whereas now obviously you can't do the 3-inch deep strike. They actually remembered it, so they've modified this rule so it still works with the new 6-inch deep strike. Probably doesn't matter. The detachment's never really getting ran, but I'm happy to know they thought about it. And then this one here, the Predator Annihilator, and this is important because it's going to affect everyone that has this, including ourselves. The Predator Annihilator has had its rule changed. It used to be, each time a ranged attack made by this model is allocated to a monster or vehicle, you can reroll damage rolls of 1. It's pretty rubbish. Now you can just reroll the damage roll. So you roll a 2, reroll it. Reroll a 3, sure thing. Probably don't reroll 4 to up. So
No.
But that's a nice change. I don't know if it's enough to make me like him.
Yeah.
But
I know what you mean.
If we start seeing tanks here, it's still only a 130-point tank. And I used to run the one of them, the little Predator that could, so maybe it's time to get him out. I mean, I've painted 3 Predators, they're all magnetized now, so it doesn't bother me. I just chop the turrets off. It's a nice little change to a unit that was terrible.
Notorious Nurgle early on in chat said triple Predator Destructor. I've been talking about we'll get a bit more into it later, but with some of the changes to vanilla Marines, and if seeing tons of these models around, I'd actually be quite up for. I think running a tank list again could actually be quite fun at some point. I'm not going to do it in the short term, but I think that reroll damage is always where the real swingy bit is, especially when you've got the twin linked on the top of the single shot Annihilator cannon.
And it is strength 14 as well.
It is strength 14, and you get to reroll the damage, the wound, and then you get to reroll the damage. It's pretty good. I mean, if it goes wrong that many times, God just doesn't like you, right?
So that's a fair way of putting it. Anarchy as well, thank you very much for 5 months of membership. Today's Emperor's Children picks, the disgustingly sexy podcast. But I'm not going to lie, I'm trying to convince Nat to let me get Emperor's Children. They look really cool and do stuff. So I'm still a Death Guard loyalist, but you know, I'm just going to say they look pretty good.
And it's all part of the Pantheon.
Exactly. Then Demons got a small buff to their Screamers. So again, we're taking a unit that's terrible. No one's really been taken. Giving it a nice little bit of a boost. I like this. Keep doing this, GW. It's good. Good to see. Dark Angel's got a lot of changes. And again, trying to make these detachments that aren't very good. So now they can advance and charge. They can shoot and charge. Which is, it's nice to see. So I'll shoot and declare. Yeah, so they can have full advance and charge, full shoot and charge for their bikes, basically. Which is really nice to see. I'm happy with this.
And yeah, there's because their bikes have got the is it the anti-monster 4-up?
Yes, they do. And now they have devastating wounds on them as well.
Now they've got devastating wounds, yeah. So that makes them quite punchy. I mean, obviously, I played. I saw a little bit of that on the table when I played Steven just recently on the Vanguard stream. So it's good. But, I mean, it's not doesn't mean it's going to wipe everything off the table.
No, it's one damage at the end of the day.
Exactly. So it's just a nice little bit of flavour, some lore, given that they are Caliban hunters. So
yeah, so happy with that. Lion getting 2 damage sweeps given back to him. Now this one's an interesting one because obviously I'm a bit upset because I have a Primarch with a 20-foot scythe, which is damage 1 on the sweeps, and this little dude with his 4-foot sword is now damage 2. At the same time, though, when I was kind of looking at it, Mortarion does a better job at supporting the Lion's kind of crap for supporting his army.
Yeah, he doesn't have the keywords.
Yeah, and like he has like an aura of reroll hits for melee attacks only, and it's like, but you have oaths, and the other one's like mortal wound protection, whereas like we have like ignores, and ours isn't the best. Like it's not like Magnus tier, but ignore modifiers is very good, and reroll once to wound is pretty decent. So I get that they basically said, okay, Lion, you aren't the smartest man around, which to be fair, lore accurate. You go big smash now, and he's like, yes, me go big smash. I'm like, cool, you go big smash. But yeah, again, a change to a unit that is underused mainly. Yes, Mike Way, I know you like screwing people's CP up with him, you little CP thief. But to see that change is actually, again, I'm happy. Let's give some love to the Primarch. And obviously Samael got a little boost as well here, which is nice because
he was decent.
He was, and now he gets to add 1 to the advance and charge rolls if he's in a detachment that can already do it. Because obviously now it would have made his ability completely useless, the new change attachment. So now they've thought about it and been like, okay, if you have this, we're going to like bop you this here, which is nice.
Yeah, and I think what I would say, and I don't know if you feel this too, Aiden, about the Lion, is he's very killy, but I don't, even though he's got a 3-up kind of invul now, I've never struggled to actually take him down.
No.
In any game, like he gets in, he does a lot of work, but once he's kind of in the open, he's not that difficult to kill.
I think the problem is as soon as he drops his because Lion players like to get in close and then pop the aura of, what you call it, the reroll hits in melee. The second he does that, you go, cool, grenade, tank shot, the Typhus, dead. Done. Bye-bye.
Yeah. What I would say as well is that him getting 2 damage here, I don't know anything for a fact whatsoever, but I would like to think that perhaps that sets up a little bit of our Primarch's going to be becoming a little bit more damaging, kind of across the board, leveling the playing field. Look what's happened with Gilliman. We'll get onto that, but I could see us maybe codex wise us getting 2 damage on the sweep.
So I think we should clarify for chat. We probably don't think we're getting many profile changes because again we don't have a book yet. These people have books, their stats are set in stone now. So the only way they can change them is to a balanced data slate. Whereas for us, it could all just be much more fixed in a codex, so they probably don't want to spam. Because let's be honest, this is already kind of getting ridiculous how long this balanced data slate is now. As a new player, throwing this in front of someone is not great.
No, it's not.
It's important for balance, and I understand that, but we don't need to add more stuff to it, especially when a book's going to come out and invalidate most of it anyway.
Yeah, and we're going to be a later edition codex coming out, so I totally agree with Aiden that, and also I want to clarify, we do not see any of these rules up front or anything at all, and anything that we're talking about is purely us saying what we think is going to happen. So I agree completely with you. I think they're going to wait till the codex drops, and then we'll see data state changes. And the good thing could be, we could see a lot because we're a late edition codex.
Yeah. So on to the best army in the entire game, Death Guard. Hey. So our Predator Annihilator has given the same rules change. You'll see that for all factions that can field it, so that's really nice. And this one, the only real change we got, Mortarion core abilities add Deep Strike. Thank Christ.
Finally.
We were the only Prime that didn't have the Deep Strike. We have
Demon
giant wings.
With wings.
It makes sense.
Not only can he jump in and out of the warp, and he's got wings. So why on earth couldn't he deep strike?
And this is interesting because this is a lot of people have been a bit down and be like, oh, it doesn't do anything. And one thing to remember is, are you going to use it every game? No, but it is another tool that we have in the pocket, which is nice to have. And that I genuinely think that in certain matchups, and especially because of the new Space Marine changes that we're going to see, it could actually be quite important to not have him on the board turn one. And again, it just opens up. It means you can rapid ingress Mortari now, so that's real nice. Being able to rapid ingress him. It also means the predictability of Mortarion is kind of took off. So I don't know if you want to get into Deathcat specific chat or just finish running through this and get into Deathcat specific chat afterwards. I'm not sure what you want to do, Dave.
Let's come back to Death God.
Right, okay, we'll come back to it very quick. I think
we're probably about to go off in the same direction.
Yeah, I will blitz through the rest of them. Genie Stealer Cults, massive rework to all the things. Basically, they have fixed amount of points they can spend, so it's not just roll dice to get things back. No. They have a set things they can spend on to get things back. Way better. I still don't like resurrecting units, but at least you know what's going to come back, and you're not just going to lose a game because the guy endlessly four-ups you.
All I'd say is look at the volume of red in this. It is almost entirely red. Yeah. And what I will say is that our team, Vanguard Tactics, within the chat, Ben just won Leicester with the GSC, and he's like, I'm not taking GSC to LVO.
Yeah, it's a good hit to their power. I still think there'll be builds there, but it's a far more healthy rule for the game, this. So overall, I don't care if it makes them bad or not. We can't have an army in the game that can potentially resurrect every single unit if you just get hot on the dice. It is such bad game design, so happy with that. Morton Brandt, yes, you 100% can. Dave just answered it for you. You can choose Morty's Aura if he's in Deep Strike. You can 100% still do that. So, a couple more things. Necron's got to change to Annihilation Protocol. As much as I rag on Necrons, this is fine. It's not a good detachment, so I'm happy for them to change it. Hypercrypt, they can now only pick up 2 units, 3 with the enhancement still. So all it basically does is put a 25 point. Yeah, it puts a 25 point tax on the detachment because you're going to take that enhancement now to get back to 3. But I mean, it nerfed Hyperphase, so like, eat my ass.
In case anyone's not clear, Aiden is not a big fan of Necrons.
No, I'm really not. Orcs can now declare war at the start of their command phase instead of the battle round. Big nice change for Orcs. Very good quality of life.
Yeah, great. Like that.
Again, a buff to a detachment that's not really used. Now it can work on character units, not just monsters and vehicles. That's great to see. Again, more changes to underplayed stuff. We love to see that. And obviously the rest of it's just tying in their abilities to work with the new war. Marines! Ooh! So
here's the problem.
Here's the problem. This is a lot of red. And this, in my opinion, is too much red for one change at once.
It's too much good red.
It's too much good red, yeah. So what's happened is that Oaths of Moment has changed. So if you do not play one of the Divergent chapters, so Space Wars, Dark Angels, Death Watch, Blood Angels, and Black Templars, your Oath of Moment now also gives you +1 to wound the target. That's quite strong. Now, at first, I was like, okay. But the problem is we've also got a lot of buffs to underused units, which again, totally fine with. And then we got these really cool rules for specific chapter characters like Iron Father Feros, where a specific unit that's tied fluffily to the White Scars' bikes, Raven Guard's jump pack units, get +1 OC. So it gives you an incentive. And I love this kind of design. This is what I wish was more in the game. Like Typhus should be like make Poxwalker's battle line because that's what he does.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is something they should definitely play around with more. The problem I have with all of these changes here is Ultramarines. Because Ultramarines, I don't know if anyone actually checked, although being high skill cap, were actually still really good. Ben, who won from VT at the latest UKTC Super Major, was against what army in the finals, Dave?
Ultramarines.
Ultramarines. And they were pretty good. They were very good. And the difference between Ultramarines and all of these, like, White Scars, Raven Guard, they have a lot of very powerful characters. Almost enough characters to make up for the unique units that Blood Angels and stuff have. Not only that, they have this Primat called Rebuke Gilliman, who lets you put Oath on 2 targets. So now, you're going to have 2 targets with all these improved units here, in Ultramarines who already have the insane characters, you can play the Vanguard, and now your Oath target, you're also getting +1 to wound. Now, I genuinely think Ultramarine should have been exempt from this +1 to wound as well, because you haven't fixed the. You've kind of fixed it a bit. You've got here's the divergent chapters. Why would you not just play them? Because they get all the rules the normal ones do plus extra units. And now instead you've gone, here's the rest of them, and you get all the rules, except this one here has way better characters and way more characters than everyone else. So why are you not just playing Ultramarines?
And it's got a Primarch.
And it has a Primarch.
Yeah.
I genuinely think this could become a problem, because 2 oaths with 4 rolls to hit, +1 to wound, plus all these new abilities, and I can't even break them down because we don't have time, but like Reaver squads with an aura of -1 OC that isn't capped. My Flyblown Host, my 60 Poxwalkers, means nothing if they're all OC 0.
And then you can't even play your. So if they come and do that first, we couldn't utilize our strat to force battle shock test at -1 example. There's a lot of functionality in this that's going to be terrifying.
Yeah, and like
and also everyone's got Ultramarines if you're a Marines player.
Yes, and heavy intercessors now being flat damage too. So you got a squad of 10 guys with 2-shot heavy bolters with assault.
Damage. It's not on their 2 squads. They've got +1 damage. There's the heavy bolt rifles.
Yep.
And then the heavy bolters on the Gravis.
Yep.
There's just like.
And then the Flamer squad now makes battle shock -1, which I'm fine with. Again,
-1.
all these
and they got AP1 on Flamers. That went up. Yeah.
All the changes to these units, I'm actually fine with. I think the +1 to wound is like the tipping point. And again, I don't mind it so much for stuff like White Scars, Crimson Fist, all this kind of stuff. The problem is when you put this with Ultramarines, and I'm not saying they might not need it, because maybe they do, but for my opinion, GW's done quite a good job at tapping things. You go, okay, that's a bit broken, we tap it down a bit. Sometimes you don't tap enough, admittedly, and then you sit there going, why, barely even nerfed it, but then the next patch will tap it again, they'll get it there. And buffs were kind of the same, they'll tap the buff. So like, first buff Death Guy got wasn't the new auras, we just got some points drops. And they were like, okay, that's not working, we need to give him a big change, let's give him those next new auras, yeah. This is too much at once. You have just thrown a full bucket of kerosene on a fire, and I genuinely think this could potentially blow up a bit, and we could see Ultramarines absolutely everywhere, and it's going to affect how everyone else builds the list, because Mortarian's really good. Mortarian that gets one-tapped because they have the new Oaths of Moment on him, less so good, because +1 to wound is indirectly more powerful against tougher targets than it is weaker targets. Because Death Shroud Bodyguard are basically getting their rule just negated because they're getting +1 to the -1. Yep. And if they're lower strength, they just get the bonus. And if they're equal strength, it's even better for them. So I'm kind of iffy about this. And obviously, full rolls to hit on 2 squads means like Flyblown Host gets a bit of an upset there because your -1 to hit doesn't matter against full rolls to hit, and now it's on 2 units at a time all the time. But a bit scary, a little bit scary. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and doomsay because we don't know what the list's gonna like. Gilliman might not even be taken because he's quite expensive. He ended up 60 points or something. But I think if you are a vanilla Space Marine player, the goal was to make people have more reason to play more classic chapters.
Yeah.
And I think you have both. You have failed successfully. You have successfully given a reason to not run the Divergent chapters, but you have failed to give a reason to run anything that's not an Ultramarine. You have failed successfully.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how it pans out, but I would definitely start teching and preparing, because I know me and Dave are already doing it, for lots of blueberries. Lots and lots of blueberries.
They're going to be everywhere. They're going to suddenly start coming out the woodwork. And there's going to be a lot of bodies on the table. This is why I was looking at going. I think it's interesting to things like I don't want to tech into this particularly, but this is where Predator Destructors, I think, with Plague Heavy Bolters on them, are going to be fun again. You got Sustained and Lethal. It's going to be interesting, but they can have a lot of bodies with a lot of OC, with abilities to turn off your OC, with more AP, with extra damage, and some characters with some crazy stuff. Yeah. And Gilliman, it's quite scary.
Oh, and Fire Discipline got nerfed to the ground finally, thank God. Because I hate that finally. Thing. Not Hobbs, £5 super chat. I'm staying positive this edition. Tower unchanged, but lots of other people are nerfed. I'll call that a win. Just going to tech for Marines. Exactly, just tech for Marines because we're going to see them a lot. I think Marines and Necrons are going to be like the big things we're going to see coming out of this. But yeah, I mean in general, Thousandson's got small things. Tyrion's got again The rest I'm going to skimp over because it's basically changed to things that weren't really being used, like the normal simulator getting the harvester keyword, so it can be played in a simulation swarm. The assimilator in a simulation swarm. Imagine, Dave.
I know. How strange. What I was going to say was is that just to finish on the Marines bit as well is that so the last 7 days ago, Space Marines accounted for 17% of armies. So we don't know I don't know what the breakdown completely is of Ultramarines within that, but that number's probably going to go up. So it will. We'll kind of see. We'll see where it shakes out, and like you said, we never know. You might turn out that they do need this with all the others. The good thing about this as well, though, is that they have just dropped a whole load of new detachments. So people are still going to be playing the other things, and that is going to probably slice up the volume of players a little bit more.
Exactly. So we'll have to see how it goes. And then the rest of it is a small weird nerf to the Demon Prince because someone got real pissed off at Jackals as existing.
Yeah.
Part of that. That's most of it. Now, obviously, points changes. We didn't get any points changes, which is actually impressive. I 100% had Death Shroud going up.
I'm amazed.
I am amazed at that. So I'm quite happy overall. I think as much as we didn't get changed, we kind of got away with it. But one thing I do want to talk about is what are we planning to do going forward? Obviously, our lists are no longer locked in. We've got loads of things to think about and change. We need to see how they meta adjusts. But what are you looking forward to play? Or do you think the Morty Deep Strike is going to have an effect on how you build stuff? And yeah, we'll just kind of talk a bit about Death Guard now, because obviously go check this out. Go check out channels like Vanguard Tactics stuff. He'll break down all the stuff. We just don't want to spend ages talking about other armies because we're here for Death Guard.
Yep. And also remember what you can do: like, comment, subscribe. We got an absolute ton of you guys in here, 124 people watching. Please do click the like button. Please turn on the bell icon as well if you want to know when we're dropping new videos, if you're not a member. And if you are a member, remember to go and join the Discord where you'll get announcements when we're dropping new videos.
Indeed. So a quick one from in the chat, Anarchy saying our 3 Plague Bus crawls back. Okay, PBCs didn't get points dropped like I wanted them to, but the PBCs have tech. And the one thing that I'm actually looking at them for again is if Vanguard Ultramarines make a comeback, maybe. Because the Battle Shock test is important, because if you hit the Centurion brick and they fail a Battle Shock, they can't uppy downy. Which is massively important, because that unit moves 4 inches otherwise. So keeping that unit to moving 4 inches is a big deal. It means you can play around it. It also means if they have units that are they have a reactive charge move, so you charge them and they reactive and walk away from you. You can hit them, potentially battle shock them, and then they can't move away. So an opponent could be greedy and be like trying to bait them with a 6-inch charge. Be like, oh, he's going to take it and I'll move away 6. And then suddenly they're now battle shocked and you actually get that charge. Now, are they actually back for terms of dealing damage and being frontline things? I don't know. They're still very expensive, and the new oaths does hurt them. But it's something we have to remember is in our back pocket if it starts to come in. The Centurion Brick's becoming a massive problem. It's one of the few tools we have to maybe deal with it from across the board without having to try and kill it. So, I mean, potentially. I'm not going to say yes because they are very expensive. But, it's potential. Now, I want to talk about Mortarion in his effective Deep Strike. Because Dave, I've been playing Flyblown recently. I've been giving it a whirl. And I will say, chat, it may have been a little harsh on it.
That's the point of playing it.
Exactly. We always walk the walk, talk. Now, it still has, and I still stand by it, all the flaws I said with it are true. It deals no damage. But I was taught by a Gene Steel cult player how to play this. And you just forget about killing, you forget about everything, and it's all about just controlling the board. And if you do that, it actually does alright. It does pretty goddamn well. So we've got more testing, obviously, to do with it. But one thing that I think the Morty Deep Strike actually unlocks for Flyblown is the way the GSC player described it to me is you push your sides. You don't go for center objective. You push 2 sides. And then your opponent will instinctively react to one of them more than the other. The area that is reacted to, you're then supposed to send the unit of Death Shroud and Deep Strike stuff. You're supposed to reinforce it and keep pushing it. The entire idea is just keep pushing them off the objective, keep pushing them off denying primary, and while the other side sort of concaves around to the center objective. Now, if Morty can Deep Strike, you can potentially have the flexibility of where's Morty going to go. Your opponent doesn't know. It's a lot hard to play around him because if they decide, okay, I'm going to push back on this flank, Morty can now arrive to support. Or if you've undercommitted to reinforce the other flank because you've brought all your force steel over, Morty can go on a goddamn rampage in your backlines. Not only that, people are like, oh, they'll just screen out Morty. But here's the thing, in Flyblown, opponent screening is your best friend. Because they push forward units to screen back your Death Shroud, your Mortarium, which then gives you units that you can charge and start using your 6-inch pylons and consolidates to start getting into them. Their screens become your springboard. And the more I've like been messing around playing with it a bit, the more I'm starting to realise, again, you don't really care about killing, just tag shit. And the most important thing the GSC player taught me is keep looking at their cards and see what they've not drawn yet. And then look and just basically say, if I'm that player and I draw these cards, what am I going to do my actions with? And you go, cool, tag that, and then go tag them. It's a very different mindset of playing, and it's definitely not common and normal to me. It doesn't play 40k like Play Company does. It's a very different style. But actually, I'm slowly coming around to it. It's weird.
I know what you mean. So the game I played on Vanguard stream was the first time I've put this on the table genuinely, and I only put a list together for it that morning. And I funny enough, I think if you look at it, I did exactly what you just said there, Aiden. I think my instinct was, don't go on the middle, push the bottom and reinforce that, push the top and take that, and then worry about what you're going to do kind of after that. And I think dropping, and I kind of almost had a mini version because of the jokey super chat thing that actually turned into something real, of getting Mortarion and effectively deep striking them in. It kind of got a flavour of what that would do. And the other thing you can do, I think, which is interesting, is if your opponent codes, if you look at UKTC terrain and they're behind, like say your natural or whatever, and you go right where they've infiltrated, and then you come out, and then you move and you charge that unit and kill it, or go into it, and then you pop the 6-inch consolidate deep strike, you get to Phantasm back behind the wall onto the objective, so you can even wipe something out and jump back and even use it that way. So their screens, like you said, not only can get you to where you need to be, but then enable you with a 1 CP strat to stay safe from everything else and sit on top of an objective. And you can we talked about sorry, was it Morton in the chat who said can you choose the his aura before he comes down, so at the start of the battle round? Yes. So if you'd put on, I don't know, extra 3-inch contagion range in turn 2, and then you've made space, Morty's dropped down after someone's moved off of an objective, Morty drops down, they stay within 12, suddenly that unit's got 9-inch contagion in turn 2. Yeah, there's that option for it, or I think it puts a lot of play in, like you said. It also makes people go, where is that going? Yeah. If they've left the middle open and you drop onto that, then do they suddenly have to divert resources that were going to take you off of an objective somewhere else to deal with Morty, who's now sat on the middle with 6 OC, to then go, okay, well, I now don't want him charging around or just sitting there holding that. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, and another thing is as well, thank you very much, Lazy DM, for the 5 QT memberships, mate. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, mate. It's good to see you as well, man. And the one thing is, sometimes in a stalemate matchup, if you're going second, your opponent won't want to put anything out onto the objective because they give you a free kill or something. And sometimes there'll be an objective that's just kind of been left open. And so I've done it before where it's like, okay, cool. So in your turn, you've not put your guns in any lanes. I'm just going to rapid ingress, tie for soul onto this objective, and you've got nothing to shoot him and charge him, and then I'll just hold it in my turn. Because obviously then it's my turn following up, and I'll get primary. Doing that with Morty, like, you can do that with Morty even if they've put 1 tank on that firing lane, because 1 tank is not killing that model.
Not killing him, nope.
And it's also just going to be fun to, like, have Morty be able to be played aggressive and not get to the lines with, like, because there are armies that can kill Morty, but the problem is, there are armies that can kill Morty, and there are armies that can kill Morty, but it takes them, like, 3 turns of chipping him down.
Yeah.
If you can deep strike and rapid ingress especially, they don't have 3 turns. You can give them 1. And again, if they push forward to screen you out, we have things like bloat drones with the flamers. So if you're in Play Company, for example, you're not looking for the springboards. Bloat drones are great. You put out a bloat drone, you flame 1 squad away, you charge another 1, tank shock it, stab a couple guys. Cool. Maybe the bloat drone dies. You just hold off on Morty. You're like, cool, I can wait on Morty. That's fine. They do it again, and then when Morty does come in, it's like, all your screens are gone, mate. I'm getting into something now. So
yeah, and charging Morty into someone's deployment zone or start tagging their stuff up in the backfield is a nightmare.
Yeah, if Morty ever gets into your backfield, like, you fucked up, but like, Jesus Christ.
But I'm saying that, at your point, if you bring him down when they don't have screens left, and then he moves 10, and then he charges, like, he goes a long way.
Yeah, it's I think it's just another tool, and it's great to have. Now, in Play Company, if you're playing a cool Predators or something, you might just want to still start him on the board to give him the rerolls and the ignore modifiers. But again, the ignore modifiers, the main thing it was for was like countering armor contempt. Now, only one of your Predators will be affected by that, so you don't need to start him as heavily. I'd still probably would in certain matchups. But again, being given tools is never a nerf. It's just a bonus. Like, you can now make decisions. But should Mortar go in reserve? Should he start on the board? You're against a melee match, but start him on the board. You don't need him. You don't need him around in deep strike. He wants to be there because you're going to get charged. But if you're facing down like triple or hammerhead, put him in reserves. Like, because you don't really, especially on a terrible board. And then again, skirmish with their skirmish. Then finally bring him in, and also bringing in Morty on your go turn as well, because he can come in at full health, which is quite important. He might eat more fiber, because sometimes I've had a go turn where Morty's been shot a bit trying to get to the good position, and I'm go turning like a 9 wound Morty, which isn't awful. He's still going to eat a lot of firepower, but I'd much rather be a 16 wound Morty.
Yeah, that's a much bigger psychological problem for your opponent to deal with. And I think the other thing is, whilst this is certainly our, you might look at this as the one update, is we got touched on nothing else.
Yes, we're very lucky.
So we've sat in the position we were in with nothing changing whilst the game is moving around us. We've got people that might have been playing Cow or Necrons, or other units that are now going to go back to Marines suddenly. Whereas which we've got game into. If people are moving off of Sisters, because that was another one that we potentially had problems with, and they're going to Marines, we've got game into that. So it's interesting to be this resilient island sat in the middle of the meta that the rest of where everything's shifting around on sand. It's quite an interesting place to be.
It is indeed. Thank you very much, Laser Chicken, for the one gift membership. We're 151 viewers, Dave. That is very impressive. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. That's so cool.
And thank you so much for the gift membership there, Laser Chicken. Really appreciate it. Behold the member gifts. They're everywhere tonight. And then Fire Drake 777 likes for the Light God. Subs for the Sub Throne. Also, my GF stole my Death Guard army. Said they gross people out. That's my army now. Thanks for being here, yo. I mean, I can't blame her on that one. Nat would never steal my Death Guard army. She's more into like Silver Death and trees and nature and all that.
Except for Necrons.
That nonsense. But yeah, except for Necrons. But another good thing is, like you said, just alluded to them. If Marines do come meta, as much as Oath scares me, and I think they make me a bit far, we can't forget our killing power into Marines. Because a lot of the Primaris Marines, which is the stuff GW wanting to be taking a lot, don't have invulns. And Plague Company, like, have you ever Dave, have you 10 Stern Guard veterans show up, okay?
Yep.
That they shoot away, they kill like a predator, okay? I kept Plague Bus in reserves. I bring in Plague Bus, and I'm now within 12, and I've got contagion range from something else onto that Stern Guard brick. Have you ever shot 10 Marines with the Plague Bus?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, AP4, yeah? Yeah, AP4,
Yep.
What happens, Dave, when that happens?
They all go away. Very
quickly. I've shot 10 Chosen, which are 3 wound Marines, and they had 1 left by the end of it.
I honestly, if we do see a ridiculous swing in volume of Marines on the table, I think I'd quite happily not only just run the Plague Bus, but then stick another Rhino on the table with another Malignant Plaguecaster in it and a Foul Blightspawn and some Marines in it, and go, well, I'm pretty much going to have 2 of them.
Yeah, and like, this is the thing, it's like, we do have game. We genuinely, especially because I'm a Contempt nerf as well, we can pick up Marines at lightning speed. We genuinely can. Like, Marines fall over to -1 safe Death Guard. It's horrific.
And I don't think as well that tanks, like, I think we're actually going to see less tanks on the table from Marines as well. I think people are going to be looking at all of this, and we're going to see big infantry groups on the table, which is even better for us.
Yes, because one thing we can do is kill, like even like a 3 Death Shroud plus Lord of Contagion gets into a 10-man Stern Guard, they're dead. Like, they're just dead.
Yeah, it's gone.
Like, 100%. So there are benefits to the offsets. Now, the scarier thing might be Necrons with the Star Shatter Arsenal. But here's the weird thing, Dave. I'm going to be playing Flyblown going forward. And it's not because I think it's better. I know. But I'm playing it because I've set myself a challenge to get 4 of it. And you know what? I am oddly enjoying a weird, different way to play 40k. Although I will admit, it is not my natural style, but that's also a good thing to learn new skills and stuff. But it's been kind of fun to try something different. Now, the thing is, I think Flyblown Host versus Ultramarines is a bit scary because I've got big bricks of stuff. Oath's going to be real powerful. My -1 to hit gets countered by that. Flip it round, however, Star Shatter Arsenal's biggest weakness is trying to hold primary of all its big vehicles.
Yep.
What does Flyblown Host do? Dominate your
Moves really
primary.
quickly and dominates primary. Exactly. I think you're right. I think yeah, big kudos. I think it's wicked. I'm confident you'll go 4-on-1 with it. But I think that's a really great goal to have with it. And once again, to show, like we always say on this channel, we'll take the stuff out and play with it, and we'll take it to situations where take it into the deep water and give it a go. So that's going to be great. And I think now that we've got the two, seeing when the meta swings, it does finally at least give us another angle on on a tournament. And wait what you're going to take to it and how you're going to play it.
It really does. And like right now,
Refreshing.
it is refreshing because like right now, I could genuinely look at the meta and like let it adapt to 2 weeks. And if I wasn't set on this weird goal of myself, I could genuinely be like, okay, what's going to fit this meta more? Is it going to be Flyblown's primary denial approach, or is it going to be the I'm going to kill you at light speed if you come within 12 approach?
Yep.
And the two varying playstyles of those actually are growing on me more because I think the one thing I over got hung up on is I've been playing Play Company, and we both have for what, a year and a half. We're so ingrained in the Play Company playstyle, so when something comes along like Flyblown Host, which is very different, we just write it off because we're like, no, we know what Death Guard does. We know what Death Guard does well. It murders things. What if it doesn't have to murder things? I probably prefer. I know I prefer Plague Company playstyle because it's funny, and Plague Bus is hilarious, and Plague Bus is just not as good in Flyblown, but whatever. But it's nice to have the option, and it is genuinely growing on me. And I'm thinking actually, if people want to be interested in, someone actually put again in our members Discord, someone came up with the idea of doing a series called "Learning to Love Flyblown Host." And it's just like my sort of journey of getting to this Flyblown, taking it to like an RTT, and then maybe taking it to a major and things like that, and sort of teaching people what I've learned while I'm playing it. So that could be quite cool to do.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. What I would say I certainly found really strange putting it on the table the first time is, you're right, shaking that. My immediate feeling by kind of middle of turn 2 getting into 3 was like, ooh, this isn't as killy. And being like, why aren't things just kind of melting out the way? But it's, like I said, it's different. It's a different way to play it, and I think it also does warrant putting other units on the table in a more meaningful way. Yeah, which is nice as well. It's a good change on that front.
So CAK Flyfish very quickly in the chat is asking Blight Lords or Plague Marines for Flyblown. I'll be honest with you, competitively, I don't know if Blight Lords still make the cut. I think they're a very fun unit. I think more casual or human going for a 3-2. Blight Lords are fine. The problem is bad unit's still bad is kind of the problem. You can put you can polish the turd as much as you want. Still a bit of a turd. It's a better turd. Don't be wrong. It's a lot better than it is like previously. And you can do some fun thing with combi weapons, which you obviously got to play around with Dave. Deleting that Storm Speeder was hilarious on VT. I won't lie.
That was so good.
That was so funny. But I'm currently going like 60 Poxwalkers, 3 squads of 6 Death Shrouds. Like it is a very skew list, but that is the nature of the beast of Flyblown at the moment. But again, maybe again on this journey that might change. I think Plague Marines are decent in it. The problem is just like Plague Marines just kind of die.
They just die. I do think Blight Lords have got a place. I think even if it's one unit of 10 personally, okay. I think if you look at the game that I played with Stephen as well, yes, I could have just kind of scouted them and pushed them onto that objective at the top, but actually I think bringing them in at the bottom, they actually sucked up so much firepower and so much attention. And in fact, I think he ended up having to put, like, after shooting one of the speeders into it, the tank into it, shooting the full wound, full up invuln guys, and then bringing the next unit out from behind the wall into them as well.
You do need a lot of firepower.
Like it ate so much and sucked up so much resource on that side, and then eventually allowed other things to chew through it. Yeah. Everything on that side eventually went away. I think there is definitely a place for either dropping them onto a middle or putting them onto a point down the bottom. Okay. I agree with you, and I think they're still not a great unit. I do think you can, with a more average roll. You can. I've rolled it out so many times now. You should be doing kind of 8 dev wounds off of the combi bolters with the rerolls. Cool. And then with the Reaper auto cannons, you should be adding another 2 or 3 into it with the rerolls. And then you've got 2 plague spewers, and then you've got the Lord of Virulence's spear as well. The total amount of output is pretty good, but it does depend on what you're shooting into, obviously. Yeah. And if the opponent's out there with a 4-up invuln and even a feel no pain, a lot, then it can get a bit annoying.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like I'm still like experimenting. It's like I was actually looking at 5-man bare bones Blight Lords, no characters, just making the most of how cheap they are, just to like go and bully things and just do actions and stuff. So I've not like fully written them out yet. It's just the one list I've played so far and done pretty well. It was given to me by someone else who's been playing it. But the idea right now is I'm going to use this person's list until I feel fully confident in how it should play,
100%.
and then I'll start making my changes to it. Because like I already want a Noxious Blightbringer in there because that little
I do too.
that little shitty Ingrid strat where it's like Battle Shock at -1 is actually pretty good.
Yeah, which goes to -3.
It was it was pretty nice. So I'm not quite hyped, but I mean, how do you feel about this data set then? Do you think it's a miss? Do you think it's a hit?
Overall, as an assessment, I think it's an interesting one. I think if I look at it overall, I would say I'm positive about it. I think we've seen, because of things like data sheet changes, because of changes to a lot of things across the board. I think we've then seen, the bucket of blood being thrown over Sisters a bit too heavily, probably, and the bucket of blood being thrown over GSC on literally everything that they had. I'm pleased to see these two things at the very top of the sheet.
Yep.
3-inch. I don't think the game is screwed because you don't have 3-inch deep strike anymore.
No.
I think you should. If, like I said at the beginning, and it sounds a bit mean, but I generally mean it. I think if you were only winning games because you had 3-inch deep strike, then play the army in a different way. And Armor of Contempt is an interesting one. I think it's generally been I think if you look at it in isolation as to how it sounds, like I'm giving this unit Armor of Contempt, like it feels like it. Yes, maybe it does only work for a turn, but equally we've been living with it for it working for the entire phase, right? For multiple years, and the game's been getting on, so I'm not sure it needed to be quite that heavy.
Yeah,
but given that we don't have it anyway, I'm not against it.
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, I feel like the problem with Armor Contempt was more to do with 2-up saves and Armor Contempt.
Yes.
I probably would have just been like, hey, you can't use AOC versus on a 2-up save.
Yeah.
Or AOC doesn't stack recover, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thinking that. It's a bit of a shame the 4-up Feel No Pain rumor isn't true. It is a bit obnoxious. It is. I think the problem with that is they'd have to rewrite so many stratagems, so many sheets.
Yeah.
It'd just be, this would like be 3 pages longer just because of that. I agree it shouldn't be in the game, but maybe that's why. Now, I think overall I'm kind of the same, Dave. I'm fairly happy.
Do you think,
yeah, I'm fairly happy. Obviously, I think we got very lucky with no points changes, I'm not going to lie. Mortar getting Deep Strike was not on my Christmas list, but I'm happy he's got it. And the Annihilator, again, a small change, but I'm happy to see them willing to change units, and we see that in other armies as well. Just because it's not our army that got changed, it does show a willingness for them to change. And I think my only concern is obviously our Ultramarines getting too disproportionate of a power boost from this, and I genuinely think they are compared to other things.
I do.
So like I said, it failed successfully for me, but overall, I'm fairly happy. I won't lie. I think. Obviously, there's points to come with this, and people can go and help yourselves to the Mutation Framework. I don't want to be running through all this for you guys because it'll take us forever, and there's nothing Death Guard. We literally got no changes. It's been kind of light on the points changes this time. They did say that was because they were more focused on the rules changes.
And there's detachments coming out every day.
There is. So we've still got lots of things to go through and lots of things to change. But I think right now, Death Guard were already in a fairly solid position. Our position hasn't changed, just the army's more around us, and we've got an extra tool with Morty Deep Strike. If Marines become meta, and here's the other thing as well, there's a lot of bad Marine players, and if you've been playing Play Come for a year and a half against Marines, and you know how to kill them, when these people come over to play Marines, you're going to slaughter them. Like, at a record pace. It's so funny. So, I'm overall excited though. I'm happy we're moving away from the meta that we were in. I'm a little concerned about Necrons and Marines, but I mean, I'm going to take it over the current guard meta we've had. That was miserable. I'm sorry, guys. And the Sisters build. The Sisters needed a different build given to them. Instead, they just took the one build and killed it. And I didn't like that build. I think it was toxic. But yeah, I mean, overall though, I think it's a net positive for the game, and I am happy. And I think LVO is going to be a wild ride for you, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, question for you, Aiden. What do you think, given LVO is like the last event of the total ATC season, what do you think as Death Guard players, do you think is more likely to be seen on the table? Do you think people are going to go Flyblown, or do you think they're going to go PC?
I think we'll probably see more Play Company. I think Flyblown is going to... I think Flyblown's going to be a bit of a connoisseur's pick. I think it's going to be a... Play Company plays Warhammer, which you know what I mean by saying that. It plays a very traditional game of Warhammer. Good trading, good damage output. I slap you, you slap me. We're going to tussle it out. Whereas Flyblown is going to find its niche of our player base who really like running that horde and that primary denial play style. And I think it's just going to give us two great options that are one for everyone. And obviously, when we do a book, Flyblown's still going to exist. Play Company might not, so we'll have to see. So again, if you want a future-proof, learn Flyblown Host because that's definitely sticking around. But no, I think in terms of overall popularity, I think Play Company's still going to take the lead. And I probably would stick with Play Company if I wasn't doing my weird little challenge, but I'm not upset anymore. At first I was dreading this challenge, and the more I've been playing Flyblown, the more I'm like, okay, you know what? This actually has some legs.
Like achievement unlocked.
Yeah. That's the thing. My goal when the Codex comes out is to get a phone with every detachment in the Codex. That would be like my dreams. Like that's gonna be my goal for when the Codex comes out.
That's wicked.
And get a 5-0 with one of them at least. So.
Yeah, and I think to everyone and to all the viewers, I mean, 155 people watching, and also when you watch this back on replay, it's amazing. Try remember that just because our stuff didn't change doesn't mean that it's a nerf to us or it's not a bad thing. If we are staying stable whilst and not having to reconfigure our armies, not having to reconfigure our core lists, knowing how to play Company already, and then having some time to get on with Flyblown and everything staying the same, means we've got less messing about to do, less new learning to do, and actually then you can focus on just dealing with the new bad guys and the new boogeymen in the meta.
Yeah, just two quick questions from chat to sort of round us out here. Lazy DM asking, what do you think's better for Flyblown? 3x3 Nerglings, 1x3, and 1x6 or 1x9? Honestly, 1x3 is enough. I know it sounds weird. I was of the mindset you need to have lots of things. Now, it might change with Marines because they're bringing scout squads, but I'm actually not asked about infiltrators. You use one unit of Nerglings to make sure you get a scout off, and then if your opponent then wants to use their infiltrators to block you off, thanks, I'm just going to charge you turn one and then use 6-inch pylon and consolidate, and you're going to use their infiltrators as a springboard for the other one. Yes, you denied me scout, you just gave me a 12-inch move on my pylon and consolidate, so thanks for that one. So swings and roundabouts, just make sure you bring at least one to guarantee a swing. But if you want to play more safe, and especially if scouts come thing, because they infiltrate and scout, which is very annoying because they can block you and then run away, then you might want to look at 1x6, I'd probably say. And the very last question we got is Tony Bag of Donuts. Do you guys think with all the balancing and rules changes, 10th edition might be close to a 4-year edition instead of the usual 3? I honestly can't answer it because we genuinely don't know anything.
We don't know.
But I wouldn't be upset if this edition went on for a bit longer than usual, because the balance and effort put into it, I would hate to see just get all thrown out the window. I don't think this will be a full edition reset though, like 9th to 10th was. I think this would be your books are still valid, we're just going to bring out a cleaner core rule set with all the changes implemented into the core rule book. And then the books that come out will be basically designed with all these changes in mind. A bit more like 7th to 8th was. But yeah, I mean... not 7th to 8th. It was 8th to 9th was. Yeah, 8th to 9th was, not 7th. 7th was its own fucking thing. But yeah, I mean, overall, I am excited, and I think I'm feeling more positive about our detachment. I'm feeling more positive about the game. And we'll have to see, because again, the worst thing is Ultramarines become the main army, and there's one thing I love more in this game than killing Custodes, Dave. It's killing Ultramarines.
Exactly. So the funny thing is, actually, a lot of my models have been. A lot of them I've had made or commissioned have got Ultramarines on the base, or Ultramarines been sucked into slime at the base of Death Shroud, or bits of Ultramarine Dreadnoughts being stepped on by Knights, or one of my other multicast has got him kind of leaping up with his scythe and 3 dead kind of Ultramarines flying off of. So hopefully that will just annoy whoever I play who's got them.
Yeah, exactly. Notorious Noodle is both piling and consolidate 6. You don't pick one or the other, it is both of them, which is very cool. But I think that's about it for now, because I know you don't have too much time tonight. I think we've kind of covered it, to be honest, from that point about where the view is at the minute. You know, we haven't, not only have we just had a new detachment, and I've had it on the table once, Aiden's had it on the table a couple of times. We both still need to get, same with Will, right? We all still need to get, and all of you need to get it on the table more to really get to grips with it. Then we've had this, so we still haven't gone out and really played into this stuff yet. There's a load, and it's keeping it fresh. GW is doing a good job in December of keeping it at the end of the year, keeping it moving, keeping it changing, and then we've got LVO. So I've said it before, but if
anyone in the community is going to LVO, and if you're in the chat, you're going to LVO, I will be there. It'd be great to see you guys or say hello to people. It should be easy to find me with Death God Dave written across the back of a shirt. So definitely cool. And yeah, I think over the next couple of streams, I'll be asking Aiden and Will for their opinions on what I should be taking.
Yeah, and we will be happy to give you our opinion on that one. So just before you go, we do have another giveaway we're going to announce now. This one won't probably be drawn until after Christmas, but I'll put it up very soon. One of our members, Mikey Way, he has a friend who is a shirt designer, the one that you were talking to.
Yeah.
The one that designs shirts for who, Dave?
For WWE Superstars.
Exactly. And he is...
he's really good.
Yeah, so WWE Superstars, who have their actual costumes designed by this guy, and he is Mikey's friend. And Mikey has called in a very big favour to his friend and said that the winner of our giveaway will have a shirt designed with him, working in tandem with him, for that person.
Can we enter this competition?
Mate, I fucking want to. Trust me. So if you want to get yourself a shirt designed by a professional WWE costume designer and made on a giveaway by one of our amazing members, Mike Way.
That's super cool, man.
Then make sure you are a member, join our Discord, and keep an eye on the giveaway channel. I'll probably put it up this weekend. It'll run probably until the start of Saturday next year, so everyone's got plenty of time to enter there, which will be awesome.
Oh, hang on. Lazy's just dropped into the chat as well that asked for a plug. Jesse from the DRP community. Discord is going to be running Flyblown on stream on Mid-Table Tactics at 3:30 p.m. Is that 3:30? Oh, 11:30 tonight. So 3:30 PST. That's amazing. So yeah, do tune in if you can on that one. But Mikey, you absolute legend. That is a amazing prize. And so great to see. And Aiden, should I tell them about the special guest that I've got?
Oh shit! Yeah, go on.
So guys, it's taken a little bit of time to do, and I did talk about it a while ago, but Tycho from Play On Tabletop is going to be coming on the channel for a chat with us to talk all things Death Guard. I'm just finalising the details with him, but he messaged me back yesterday, and we've been having a bit of back and forth. Super exciting to have someone certainly from my side, one of the channels I watched religiously early on to really learn how to play. That was a super friendly place. Tycho's a great player. Big Death Guard player. I can't wait to get him on the channel and have a chat. So look out for that announcement soon. We'll probably put an announcement up about that to give you guys enough notice of it. But yes, the Child of Chaos will be on our channel.
Awesome. I look forward to it very much. But for now, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I will obviously leave you all for some music, as is the standard, and maybe some dancing dinosaurs. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. The amazing amount of viewers tonight. Amazing interaction with the chat. We're so happy that you guys always show your support and love. But until next time, from me and Dave here, stay rotten, everybody, and we will catch you all soon. Ta-ta.
See you later, guys.
See you later. Enjoy the new Dataslate. Woo! And the Piglet, thank you for coming to play me. Thank you, man.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. See you later, guys.
Subscribe.
Clothed in silence, grim and pale, shrouded forms behind rusted veils, wielders of scythe, reapers of life, bound to mortarian, blessed by strife. No words are spoken, yet dread pervades, eternal watchers, unbroken blades. Astride the tides of filth they tread, the death shroud march where life has fled. Ill and decay, the Father's will. Unyielding, relentless, they kill. Echoes of death in every stride. Plague-born wraith, shadows by his side. Shadows of rot, the size of despair. Life withers and dust beneath their glare. Guardians of plague, champions of blight, extensions of the pale king's might. Toxic mist cleaves through ancient plates. The man reaper swings, death incarnate. Each strike in silence, each reap a red rend. Their inexorable march will not end. Handpicked by Mortarian's hand, loyal till death, his final command. Eternal duty, a silent crusade. They carry the plague till the end of days. Heal and decay, the Father's will. Unyielding, relentless, they kill. Echoes of death in every stride. Shadows by his side. Shadows of wrath, the size of despair. Life withers and dies beneath their grill. Guardians of plague, champions of blight, extensions of the pale king's might. Sacrifice of Nork's hand, carving through across the land. Variant shadow, eternal and true, the death shroud march to bury you. Shadows of wrath, heralds of dread, they march where the living fear to tread. No mercy, no escape, no salvation lies. The death will bring the galaxy's demise. No words were spoken, no mercy shown. The death's mark remain, shadows alone. From the depths of rot and decay they rise. The death god marches on the sickened skies. With boils and blight, they spread the pain. In Nurgle's name, disease will reign. Rot and ruin and pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. From the depths of rot and decay they rise. The death god marches under sickened skies. With boils and blight, they spread the pain. In Nurgle's name, disease will reign. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. Armored and filled with rusted blades, they laugh at cities wilt and fade. Where they tread, no life remains, just hollow corpses, plague remains. Beneath the helm, the cursed grin, for in death they shall begin. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. Beneath the warp the souls are bound, to spread decay, to break the ground. Nurgle's gifts a putrid stain, a future where only disease remains. Rot and ruin, pestilence flows. With every breath the plague wind blows. Embrace the rot, let flesh decay. The death god comes, none can stay. The rot spreads, there's no escape. The death god seals your fate.
From the shadow depths of a broken hive, corpses twitch and come alive. This crimson plague, it feeds on fear as the bodies drop and it draws us near. Our skin is crawling, something's inside. Internal box now takes its bite.
Lungs are burning, pox fills the air. You scream for help, but no one cares. Bones are breaking, bodies twist. The Death Guards give death's toxic kiss. Pale stare with a hollow glare. They're gone but shambling, lost somewhere. This hive is his, disease and bloom. No light survives in this darkened tomb. Then no comes, accept your fate. And we'll stop. The hive's infected, it's too late. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive will consume what is sick disease. Are so corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite. You feel it subtle deep inside. There's no cure, nowhere to hide. You breathe me in, you can't escape. I am the plague, I am your fate. What can you feel it in your bones? This is where it now goes home. No mercy here, you're out of time. Your final breath is that last line. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive was consumed by the sick disease. I'm so corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive was consumed by the sick disease. I'm so corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite. From the skies we come to claim our prize. A world infected before your eyes. We are the run, we are the end. The Death Guard's mercy is death again. Watch it all decay, falling to your knees. The hive was consumed by the sick disease. Are so corrupted, can't run, can't fight. The walking box now takes its bite. The walking box now takes its bite.
In the shadow of decay I rise, typhus the herald beneath poison skies. With nobles rot I lay worlds to waste. The reaper's scythe, no life can escape. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth, I spread the plague with the twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In nobles name I spread death with ease. Vessels wash with me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth. Carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth, I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In nobles name I spread death with ease. Vessels wash with me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth, carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth, I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death. God, where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Noble's name I spread death with ease. Pestilence walks with me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Play with howl, beguiling walls. Pestilent tides, new life is born. Miracles passing, a twisted grace. I embrace your God in my golden grace. Fear the plague fleet, fear the end. No salvation, no let to defend. I am Typhus, reaper of dread. Bow to Nurgle, embrace the